League of Legends has been around for years, yet new players still have no idea how to properly play the game. Today, you're going to get some quick tips on how to set up your system. Hello everyone, welcome to this League of Legends class with Mr. Hernandez Teaches. This is your host, Mr. Hernandez Teaches. And today we're going to look over how are you going to actually develop brand new players to League of Legends. Like, what are they supposed to do? What are the things that you need to teach them immediately so that they can hit the ground running without learning as they go with all of these things that are going to be really kind of detrimental to learning incorrectly. For brand new players, I think it's important to look at what are the settings that you need to change immediately. Okay, so first thing, we have Q, W, E, R, D, and F. So these are your main abilities, and then some are spelled D and F. So on D, I have my heal, and on F, I have my flash. And then, of course, you normally have all your items listed 1 through 7. As you're going to notice, I have one of these out, and that's because of my boots. Because usually I just click and drag my items around to where I normally want them placed. And I'll have my boots down into this corner. Notice how this one does not have a number. However, this item, my trinket, is on 6. And so I can just cast 6 like that. Now, what you're going to want to do for every new player is you're going to want to change this to quick cast all. So let me tell you the difference between quick cast all. It's going to be easier for me to show you the difference rather just to tell you like, okay, here's how it looks. So first, here's quick cast. There's my Q. There's my W. I can hold it and it won't shoot until I release the button. And then I'm holding my W now and it won't shoot until I release the button. Definitely, if this isn't already checked, you're going to want to have replace quick cast with indicator. So let me switch this up to normal cast all. Okay. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click Q and notice it doesn't shoot. Okay. I've released the Q button and it hasn't shot anywhere until I click with my mouse. So I can move and then hold it and then release it by clicking with my mouse. So the difference between quick cast and normal cast is quick cast, it shoots immediately to where your mouse is. And then you can move with it up and you can release it to where you want to release it. So that's definitely going to be something that most players should be learning on is quick cast. Now, I know that a lot of professional players, a lot of higher level players will say normal cast all. That's going to help you get more accurate. But honestly, a lot of people also say that quick cast is going to be faster when you're playing with these abilities. Another thing in the menu that you want to do, that you want to change pretty quickly, is your leveling up abilities. So if I go to abilities and summoner spells, down here under other, we have level up spell 1, level up spell 2, level up spell 3, and level up spell 4. So I have these set to alt and then whatever the spell is. The reason I have that is because that's right next to shift and I can just kind of tuck my thumb underneath my hand and do and level that up. So then if I'm in a fight and I immediately level up to 6, so maybe a minion died next to me, I can be fighting here, attack moving like we've talked about, casting my abilities, and then level up my R and then shoot my R immediately. Now I can focus on the fight instead of moving my mouse to actually click the level up icon on my champion. Let's talk player movement real quick. So when you're clicking, notice how these 3 dummies, I'm just clicking past them and I just move past them. And then when I reach my destination, he'll start attacking. Okay, right now, he's not attacking until he reaches the end of my movement command. So end of my movement command right there, he'll start attacking the nearest one. Now, what you want to normally do is attack move, which is shift and right click, and then he will attack the one that is closest there. So then whatever he can attack on his way over, he will attack as soon as he gets into range. Notice here he doesn't complete the movement. So if I click right here and I move all the way there, he's moving all the way to there before he starts attacking. Whereas if I shift click, he attacks immediately once they're in range. So that's going to be when you're moving from lane to lane and you're not sure what you're seeing. You're definitely going to want to be shift clicking into this bush so that if there's someone immediately inside, you need to attack immediately so that you can do as much damage as possible. The next part is we have camera control. And the only thing that you really need to worry about camera control is this camera lock. Now that's on the hotkey Y, but it's this lock right here. And what happens is I'm moving the camera and my champion stays centered on the screen the entire time. So I can click over here, I can click, and I can't, if I click on the minimap, I have to hold it. As soon as I release it, then it let go and it's back centered. And I can't move the screen by moving my mouse to the edge. Now the other type with camera unlocked, you notice it's the champion that moves, and you can move the map by moving your mouse to the bottom, to the top, to the left, and to the right of the screen. Notice how if I move over here to the Baron pit, it doesn't immediately snap back to my champion. So what happens to players who get lost? Well, all they have to do is press the space bar to find their champion again. And it goes directly like it was camera lock. So usually when I'm moving across the map, I'm watching the mini map here. I'm not really watching my champion. I'm shift clicking around to attack things that might come out to attack me. And if I get lost or there's a fight, I immediately center onto my champion with spacebar so that I can kite and fight properly in that situation. So spacebar is going to be something that you're going to want to get down. Yes, so here we have alert ping, and to everybody that's going to be on G. So the alert ping just looks like this. I press G and then I click. So press G and left click, G and left click. But what's interesting is if you press G, you hold G and you left click and you hold the left click. So I've released G at this time. You can ping danger. Watch out in this case, danger. Or so say like I'm fighting in lane, right? Okay. And then I'm getting ganked. So I need everyone on my team to know, okay, help me out. I'm getting ganked. And so I'm asking for assistance so that everyone knows to respond to me and it gets their attention. The other types is enemy missing. So this is very important when your laner disappears. You're fighting in a lane and then they disappear, right? Especially in mid lane or top lane. Whoever you're fighting against, if they disappear and you're not sure where they went, you press G, you left click and hold just for a second, and then you release it. And then it releases that enemy missing ping. So everyone knows, okay, I don't know where my champion is. Everyone needs to be on high alert. Sometimes if I think my enemy, if say I was in the bottom lane and the enemy just disappeared, but I kind of saw them going up this way, I'm going to ping here and I'll ping some caution on the way. And I'll tell you how to do that in a moment. The other ping, the last ping is on my way. So say we're fighting a dragon or we're getting ready to fight a dragon and I need to tell my team, okay, I'm going to be there in just a moment. I ping I'm on my way the exact same way and I let them know I'm on my way. And it shows up on the map. You can see it on the mini map that everyone will be able to see that I've pinged that I'm on my way. Now the other type of ping is the caution ping. And so that's kind of like redundant to danger. But this one is normally going to be on V. So if you press V and then you just let go of it and you left click anywhere. So press V and left click. It tells everyone, okay, be careful. There might be some danger. So it's kind of redundant to the danger ping. But I think it's a little bit louder and it's a little bit faster than to go like this. And then besides pressing just V and pressing the click. And then lastly, the last type of ping that we have, the warded ping. Now this is something that I came in and I actually changed. This area is warded ping, actually doesn't exist. when you first load up the game. It doesn't have it set to anything. So I actually switched it to X because that's a good position for where my hands are. So say a jungler, I'm fighting, or I'm just farming in lane, right? Just minding my own business. And a jungler wants to come gank me, but I know that there's vision in this bush. So if they're coming this way, I'm going to ping, watch out, there's vision. So they can sweep out the vision, drop a control ward, or possibly go in this other path in this direction. That way we could possibly get a better gank where we can avoid the enemy's vision on the way. So those are all the types of pings. Holding G and releasing it. Just tapping G, V, and then in my case, X. Okay, so then the other tip that I want you to know about in the hotkeys is this tab. If you press tab, and of course, since I'm in practice tool, it doesn't show anybody up, but in tab, you'll be able to see how much CS you have, how many kills, deaths, and assists that you have, what items everybody has, and it's going to show it for the enemy team as well. You'll be able to see like my vision score about how many wards. And also on the left, you'll also be able to see what I have on your own team, what summoner spells that they have available in their fight. So say I just flash right here. Okay, so now you can see that it's on cooldown 4.5 minutes. You can now see that it's on cooldown here, and it shows a little clock indicator so that everyone knows like, okay, it's coming up. He just burned it, so he's not going to have flash for a fight or if I engage. So the tab hotkey is going to be very important for how you're going to play and match up properly in these games. It also tells you how many towers, how many dragons, and even the timers at the top. You can see that Baron is actually going to spawn soon and that the rest of these buffs are currently available to take. So I loaded into this game just to show you guys how to mute players. So say this Misfortune says like, okay, so she said good luck, have fun. Jay says no you. And nobody wants to really have fun, or maybe they said something that's not very polite and you just want to get rid of them. You want to mute them. So this Misfortune actually has a mute button right here. So you hold tab to bring up the scoreboard like we said earlier, and you just hit that mute button. Now the next thing that you need to know about is attack moving. Now there are several different ways to attack move, and I'm going to just show you one method that I like to help us attack move. So normally when you're CSing and you're killing creeps in your lane, you're just sitting here and you're attacking. And let's see how it looks when I attack move. So attack move is when you cut off your attack as soon as the projectile leaves your champion. So as soon as the projectile leaves your champion and starts going in to hit the minion, then you move away so that the fling of the attack, the one where his arm is going out, disappears, and you get that microsecond back to do more damage. And so now let's attack this one with attack moving. So I'm going to attack, click off to the side once that projectile releases, and then I'm going to attack it again, and I'm going to do 3 quick attacks. So this is me not attack moving, and I'm just going to be kind of following. You're going to notice here that I'm going to stop several times, and I won't be able to stay with the scuttle crab. So let me just right click it and let it go. And so you can see that he kind of like has to chase it at the end. And he just stays still. He's looking for it, and he's still chasing. So it's a lot of time that he's spent just chasing and not attacking. So let's let it heal up. So with attack moving, I can stay with it the entire time and not miss a single attack because I'm moving with it. So I'm clicking forward and I'm attacking when my animation gets canceled. So that way I'm never out of range of it. He doesn't run away from me. And even when he does, I'm still able to get my auto attacks off. As a jungler, you also want to attack moves. So say I'm going from my blue to my Gromp. So I want to attack and move back and kite it to where the Gromp is supposed to be. You don't want to move it too far away or else he's going to lose patience and reset. But notice here, especially with melee junglers, you can do the exact same thing, and now you're in range to now hit the grump. You can also pull him this way. Now he's losing a little bit of patience, and you can tell from that little red marker that was at the top. But then I kind of stopped and I moved him to the edge of where he could move, which was right here. And that's just from attack moving. And what happens in jungle is you get to complete your jungle camps faster, and they do less damage to you, so you get through it healthier as well. Now let's talk about the shop. So here, I actually have a custom build in here. But you always have the recommended set of items. These are the items that are usually what Riot decides are going to be the best items and the best items for you to buy when you're playing the game. Now, of course, you don't always have to follow their recommendations. In fact, most of the time, you don't want to follow their recommendation. But this is how you want to show your shop. If you're unaware of what the items do, you can click this button and it'll tell you what each item does. The Trinity Force just does tons of damage. The Tear of the Goddess increases the maximum mana and the mana spent. So you can kind of tell what they're going to do so you can decide what you need in each situation. Now there are these two tabs. There's the recommended and then there's the all items. You can click through here through starting items for jungling or for laning. You can go through your tools such as Spelthy's Edge or the elixirs that you might need or control words. Of course, everything is listed in all items from free to the most expensive items in the game, Trinity Force. Now everything is listed over here, so you could click this into boots and mana reduction. Actually, you could click into this with boots, and you can click over in this little box to further specify that you want boots with mana reduction, and then it'll tell you what can fulfill that. There's also a search here, a search bar. So say if I want Trinity Force, it'll pop up Trinity Force. Or if I want Blade of the Rune King, or how it's commonly referred to as Bork, you can literally just type in Bork and it comes up with Blade of the Rune King. So it is pretty smart search functionality about what you want in here. So say you buy something that you don't want, you can right click to buy it. So, oh wait, I didn't want to buy the Sheen because I already built the Trinity Force. What I can do, since I'm still in the fountain area, is undo that and it gives me all the gold. So then if I want to buy Trinity Force again, oh wait, I already have another Trinity Force. So instead of selling it, in order to sell it, you can like right click it and sell it. You could just click undo and reduce those actions as well. So if you want to build armor and your team is telling you build armor, the enemy team is all AD, just click the armor tab and see what items are really good for armor. And lastly, I'm going to talk about how should you position your fingers when you're actually playing the game. So this is going to go into everything that I've talked about here before. And here's my keyboard. So here's going to be like a little bit of a top-down view. So I know a lot of people, if they're coming from first-person shooters, they have their fingers on W, A, S, and D. And so then they're casting their Q, W, E, R spells like that. And they're moving their hand around a lot. And they have their pinky on Control and Shift. It adds the combination to what they can do. And of course, their activatables are up here. So they're very fast hands that are moving like that. The way I prefer to play the game is Q, W, E, R with my pinky on Q and my index finger on R and my thumb on the space bar. So then I'm immediately knowing how to press, okay, this is my Q, this is my W, this is my E, and this is my R. So then when it comes down to it, I can even heal with my D immediately, or flash. F stands for flash to me. And then of course I can, press all of my keys up here pretty easily. It's not too much of a stretch. So there's my ward right there. Now, of course, I said hit the space bar. My thumb is always on space bar. And then if I want to level up an ability quickly, there's Alt underneath. And like I said, I just tuck it underneath my hand and I click whatever button is necessary. All right, everybody, I hope you liked this small tutorial about how you can work with new players, some settings that they should change to help their damage output so that they can just focus on learning the basics of the game without learning about how to place their fingers and what they're supposed to do with all the buttons on the keyboard. This really does, I think, simplify the process, something that we don't really have in the community. So if you want to see more videos like this is going to be a 4-part series. The next few parts are going to be how to analyze lower level gameplay, mid-level gameplay, and high-level gameplays. So depending on what skill level your team is at, you'll be able to analyze and help them improve no matter what. And if you want to improve in your own gameplay, you're going to know how that you can improve depending on what you need to do to get better and what your team needs to do to get better in the future. So thank you everybody for staying here with Mr. Hernandez. I hope you learned something. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button so that we know it. And if you want to tell me how I can improve in the future, definitely leave a comment below.